Hey yo, it's your boy Monster Man Rocco.
It's your boy Swagger Rock.
This is Snack the Ripper.
And you rap for those who don't know.
This is Master Ace. You are now rocking with the best. Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records, man.
Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records.
Breaking Records.
Breaking Records Radio. Let's go.
Breaking Records Radio.
Press 5 now. How you check Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records, man. Radio is like the place to be. I don't fuck strange music, dude.
Oh, wow.
And that was it. And that was it. And then I was really sold. By now it's like 97, or pretty much about to be 97. And I said, well, I'm just gonna go behind the scenes. I'm gonna just start, working with artists. I had Paula Perry signed in Motown. I had Lachey signed in Warner Brothers. I said, I'll just focus on production and being an executive producer and forget about the rap and stuff. Like I was done with it. 97, I was done with it. I was like, I'm gonna focus on being behind the scenes, and maybe I can do more damage from behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And so I just walked away from it for a few years.
And so that would be the period of time then too, because I remember last time we talked, we kind of talked about how there was a period of time like before Disposable Arts, how you were kind of bouncing from different labels, putting singles out here and there. So that would have been right after you left Big Beat around then, I guess.
It was about 2 years of not doing any music at all. And then,
oh, really?
Yeah, and then I think J Love had asked me to do a single with him. I did a song called NY Confidential, and I forgot what the B-side was. Splash, a song called Splash. I did those. I did another single called Ghetto-like with
Ghetto-like, yeah.
Filthy Rich, and those were kind of like little. Those songs were like me kind of just like sticking my toe in the water to see if the water was warm or if it was cold, to see what I and then I wound up in Philly. I wound up in Philadelphia working with Jazzy Jeff with his Touch of Jazz camp. They were working on some music, and I went down there and started working on. Shout out to DJ AV, who kind of like introduced me to that camp. And I went out there and started working on music with them. And the Touch of Jazz, Jazzy Jeff had like three production rooms. He had like a main room and 2 pre-production rooms. And just being in that atmosphere, because literally every room, there were producers and musicians in every room making music, like nonstop. Yeah. And just bouncing from room to room, listening to different stuff that was being made, that kind of like got my energy going again. That was like 99. And then in 2000, a tour happened. I went to Europe for a tour. I did the 13 shows in Europe. I think it was like 7 or 8 shows in the UK and then a couple shows in Germany. And to my surprise, when I went out there, like the energy of the people at these shows, people knew my music. They knew the songs. They knew the words to the songs. And I left that tour at the end of 2000 saying, you know what, maybe I can do another album. Maybe I'll do one more just to kind of like go out on my own terms, because I didn't like the way I was going out,
Yeah.
And so I said, but if I do another record, it's got to be completely the record I want to do. I don't want to hear no label people in my ear, nothing. So let's keep it independent, and I'm gonna make the exact record I want to make, and then I'll go out on that note. And that album was Disposable Arts.
Shit.
Yep.
Yeah. Which, in my opinion, all your work is great. Everything from the first album all the way up to the new Brooklyn album with Polo. Every album is great, but I think we talked about this last time. But Disposable Arts is hands down, I think, my favorite out of the bunch. Still, like that's just
Thank you.
It's an untouchable album. You know what I mean? Like it goes up there, top, if not top 10, top 20 best hip hop albums of all time, in my opinion. Like it's front to back.
I appreciate it. That's my favorite album of mine.
Yeah.
I really owe the last. That was 2001. So I owe the last 19 years of my career to that album, to Disposable Arts. Because if Sitting on Chrome had been my last album, I would have been done a long time ago. I'd be working for the post office or something like that.
Yeah.
But that album has extended my career for 19 years. Amazing.
Yeah, it's like, I like to say it's a hip hop classic, but it's definitely in which it is, and I guess everything's subjective in that sense. In my opinion, it's a hip hop classic, but I think that album definitely is like a cult classic too. You know what I mean? Like there's like that's like the album. When people mention you in that top tier conversation at MCs, people are using examples off that album 100%.
That's love, man. It's. I'm just glad that I did that album. There was enough things happening around me to make me feel like it wasn't worth doing. But then I got that, that renewed feeling of let's do one more for the road, and that's what it was, and that's why, I did the song No Regrets.
Yeah.
At the end, that was kind of like my parting words, and it wound up turning into a lot more.